Very good morning to all of you. On behalf of Auditing and Assurance Standard Board of Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, I welcome you all in today's 76th CP program organized by AASP of ICI this year. As you are all are aware that today's third webinar on bank branch audit. First, we have done day before yesterday on audit of loans and advances. Yesterday, we have covered long form audit report, and today again very important topic, that is effective planning for bank branch audit as well as the IREC norms. And in order to tackle this very important topic, how to plan for a bank branch audit, we are having with us very learned speaker, C. Anirudh Tiwari ji. So on behalf of AASB of ICI, I extend my warm welcome to you, sir. Welcome to you, Anirudh, sir, on this AASB Zoom platform for this webinar for our members. We are also having with us our past chairperson of Jalandhar branch, C. Sonia Arora ji. Welcome to you, ma'am. Namaste. We are having with us co-moderator C. Meenal Khemka ji. Welcome to you, ma'am. Namaste. Honorable Chairman C. Sanjeev Kumar Singhal ji and Vice Chairman Sir Vishal Doshi ji both are stuck up in one of the another meeting. So I'm taking this liberty to start today's webinar. And without wasting much more time, I request the past chairperson of Jalandhar branch, C. Sonia Arora ji, as one of the moderator of today's program, to please start the proceedings of today's webinar. Over to you, ma'am, please.
Thank you, sir. A very good morning to all. We are delighted to welcome you all on this 76th VCM being organized by Auditing and Assurance Standard Board of ICI. Firstly, I extend my gratitude to Chairman and Vice Chairman of this committee for coming up with this unique and wonderful series on bank audit, or I can say a power-packed knowledgeable session on bank audit. We simply respect such a great personality like Sanjeev Singhal sir, who is ever aspiring toward the growth of profession and making us all enlightened all. We all know that the banking industry in India has scaled newer heights with the changing times. The increased use of technology and digitalization has brought a revolution in the working style of banks. The changing dynamics of banking industry brings new kind of risk exposures for banks, making stress-free audit a major ingredient to bridge up the risk exposure. In the contemporary era, it is essential that the statutory auditor should be well equipped in terms of their knowledge of the banking industry to conduct effective and efficient bank audits. So, salute to the efforts of the AASB board for the commendable job by coming up with this series of program on bank audit, which is covering every aspect. A perfect blend of speakers with a vast knowledge and a crucial matter covering all the uniqueness and beauty of the design program, making us all self-equipped. Now, my sincere thanks to the eminent speaker of today's session, none other than C.A. Anirudh Tiwari ji. I think he doesn't need any introduction. It is rightly said that knowledge has no boundaries. Same is the case with our today's speaker, who is connecting virtually or physically in every region for the benefit of professional colleagues. Like in the few weeks back, you can see he has covered found in Lucknow, Gorakhpur, Jamshedpur, Ministry of MSME also in the Amritsar, Mathura, and many more, I know, sir. So blessed to have a mentor like him and today's session. So now my request to my co-moderator, C. Mitali ma'am, to formally introduce the humble and the knowledgeable personality today.
Thank you, ma'am. As Sonia ma'am says that our speaker need not any introduction, but let's have a small introduction of our speaker, C.A. Anirudh Tiwari. He is a qualified chartered accountant and law graduate as well, having the vast experience in the field of bank audits, MSME, and risk advisory. He has worked with one of the leading Big Four, E&Y. He is a special invitee member of the Committee on MSME and Startup of Institute of Chartered Accountant of India. He is a president of Global Entrepreneurial and Professional Association. He has done various post-qualification diploma and certified course like certified course on the public finance and government accounting, certified course on the bank business responsibility and sustainability reporting, diploma in information system audit, certified course on forensic accounting and fraud deduction, certified course on anti-money laundering laws. In the banking sector, he has handled various ASM assignment on large corporate borrowers having the credit exposure of 250 to 5,000 CR. Apart from this, he has a vast experience in the bank audit assignment, which includes statutory bank branch audit, credit audit, revenue audit, stock and book debt audit, content audit, information system audit, due diligence, limited review, spatial monitoring, and BG audits, etc. He possesses a rich industrial experience in the field of goods and service tax. He has served many listed and large corporate clients for spatial monitoring. During the implementation phase of GST, he has served so many corporate clients on preparation of SOPs, development in the accounting softwares, training to employees, etc. As a corporate consultant, he has been advising so many SMEs and startups and also provide corporate training on internal control and indirect taxes. His unique skill set enable him to deliver comprehensive value-added multidisciplinary approach, providing clients with well-crafted and appropriate solutions. He has a regular speaker on various subjects like bank audit, specialized monitoring, MSME, startups, and GST, etc. Now I request to our speaker to start their sessions on effective planning on bank branch audit and IRAC norms. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Minal ji, AASB, and Sonia ji, in absentia, Sanjeev Singhal ji, Vishal Doshi ji, for giving me the opportunity to interact with the members virtually to deliver something which is actually expected from a speaker who is having little bit experience in the bank branch audit. So I have been interacting with the members pan India, and I have gained a little bit of knowledge over last few years of my experience in the bank branch audits, revenue audit, stock audit, every kind of bank related audit I have done. So today I'll be sharing some of the experience with you, some of the techniques with you, and more precisely, I'll be sharing what should be the actual plan and effective plan basis which you can conclude your audit in an effective manner in a 4-5 days or 7 days, whatever you get after receipt of the appointment letter. We all are that yet so many chartered accountants who are the first time auditor or some of the continuing auditor has not received the appointment letter yet. So this is the time when we should gather the knowledge, we should build up our knowledge, we should build up our team, we should plan our audit and prepare complete checklist and audit program, because it's being said that your will planning is half done. So if you have very good planning and you have effective checklist for the verification of advances, then you will definitely conduct your audit in a very short span of time. And the important part would be you will definitely get the NPAs, because this is something with cherry on the cake जो हमें चाहिए ही होता है NPA. So you will definitely get the NPAs at the time of review of the advances. But this time, and even since last few of years, I'm regularly conveying to all the members of the institute that we should not restrict ourselves to identification of NP only, but we should also be focusing on the revenue leakage and revenue part, which we are going to justify to the banker that yes, there is some kind of revenue leakage which we are giving to you, and whatever fees you are giving to the branch auditor is very much justified. You have given some revenue to the auditor, but auditor has also given some revenue to the branches. So you will also have to identify the areas where revenue leakage are there, revenue leakage are prone, like the processing fees, some visit charges, inspection charges, some penal charges, or you can say commitment charges. And most importantly, in some of the cases, where you will find that if the security has been taken from CGT, MSC, or central government scheme, so in that case, you have to pay some kind of fees out of that security amount that you have to charge, that you have to debit to the borrower. But in many cases, you will find that that debit has not been done in the account. So you will have to find out what are the revenue leakage in the bank. This will give you edge. और ये आपको जस्टिफाई करेगा कि जो पैसे आपको ब्रांच से मिल रहे हैं या बैंक से मिल रहे हैं, आपने बैंक को भी कुछ करके दिया है. So if we discuss the basic key steps in bank branch audit, so the first point would be the letter of appointment which you will receive, and post that immediately you will have to issue the NOC to your previous, you will have to get the NOC from your previous auditor. Once you get the NOC, after that you'll have to prepare the engagement letter. You have to make the discussion with the bank branch manager. Then once you get the understanding about what branches are doing, what branch manager is doing, how much experience bank branch manager is, and how much controls are there. So basis that you will prepare the proper audit planning. Next step would be after the planning, you will have to execute the audit, and at the time of execution, some of the documents or some of the reports which you will have to issue, the main audit report, then LFAR, tax audit report sometimes, and some returns, the closing circulars you will have to see, and some certification you will have to make. After that, while doing all this, you will also have to issue the MOC. MOC is very important aspects in your bank branch audit, because this is something which actually shows that how diligent my auditor is. In some of the seminar which I have recently delivered, one of the person has said, sir, the banking system is so much robust. Latest in last 2-3 years, a lot of changes has happened in the banking system, and they have made so much capital expenditure in the IT system. Then if the system is robust, everything is being automated, either you can say revenue recognition, or you can say the asset classification or provisioning, then why we need the auditor? If system is robust, system is able to do everything, then we don't need auditor. Like the private sector bank, in the private sector bank, they don't have the branch auditor. Then why we need the branch auditor in the PSU sector? So sir, you will have to understand the way of working of private banks, the way of documentation, and all the automated process which private banks have, that is not 100% digitized in case of the public sector bank. In the public sector bank, still you have the paperwork, still you have the hard copies, still you have to review the file after visiting the branch. Everything you will not get at the centralized office. So that is why you cannot compare the private bank with the public sector bank. Apart from this, you will also have to understand that the system can only give the output, but that output is based on the input which branch manager or credit manager will give to the system. I will put some example, I'll put some light on some of the issues. Let's say if we talk about the drawing power. So the master circular says that if the drawing power is being arrived based on the stock statement which is older than the 90 days, then my account will be irregular. And if that irregularity continue for next 90 days, then my account will be classified as NPA. So if I would say that in actual scenario, the stock statement has not been submitted at the branch, but the credit manager has deliberately updated the drawing power in the system only, but physical stock statement is not available. So will my CBS be able to identify that yes, actually a stock statement has not been received? If you talk the same case in a different manner, let's say the stock statement which has been submitted to the branch is showing the drawing power of only 45 lakhs, but the actual utilization is 75 lakh. And based on that utilization, if the credit manager is updating the DP in the system as 90 lakh, so will my CBS be able to identify that actual DP is only 45 lakh or 40 lakh, but in the system it has mistakenly or wrongly updated the 90 lakh, that my CBS will never be able to identify. So this is something which as an auditor, it's our duty to identify. And we have to review the files which is available in the branch, and we have to see whether the numbers or data updated in the CBS, in the customer master, is actually genuine or not. The correct numbers or correct input has been provided in the CBS or not. If you talk the another example, in so many cases, we have seen that the review and renewal is not being done properly. For more than 2 years or 3 years, the reviews or renewal is pending. But my RBI circular says that if review or renewal is pending for more than 180 days, then your account should be classified as NPA. But in most of the cases, you will find that this review and renewal is being updated in the CBS only. But if you go through the files available in the branch, you will find that actual papers are not there. Request for review renewal has not been received. The proper financial CMA data, GST, nothing is there for the purpose of renewal. So if no documentation are there, so then on what basis you have reviewed or renewed the account and updated in the system? But my CBS is highly dependent on the inputs. If input will be incorrect, then my CBS will give the incorrect output as well. CBS will not be able to give you the correct output if we provide the incorrect input. So here, if I have updated the renewal date in the system, then my CBS will not ask that actually we have received the documentation or not for that review. System will be okay with the date that yes, actually review or renewal is done. So here your roles comes in. You will have to see the files and papers, and you'll have to review and comment that actually renewal has been done or not, or this is only the entry which is updated in the system. Let us take the another example. Let's say in one of the CC account, the account is only serving the interest since last 1 year. No any other debit or credit submissions are there. Whatever interest is being debited, that has been served by the borrower as on the due date, and also the limit is not fully utilized. The important aspects in this case is the actual rate of interest which was there in the sanction letter was 9.5%. Please note 9.5%, but mistakenly in the CBS the number which was filled is 5.9%. So what will happen in that case? Can anybody tell me? I'll just look at the chat box. Can anybody reply? What will happen in this case? Will it impact my account anyhow? Will it result into the NPA classification? Anything? Can anybody please put it in the chat box? So here, what I have told you initially, this CC account is only there just for the serving of interest. Whatever interest is being debited, the same has been repaid by the borrower, but no any turnover is there in the account, and further the account is not fully utilized. So here, if you will update the correct rate of interest, that is 9.5%. So the impact should be, in this case, you will see the overdues. Because the earlier rate of interest which was calculated was at the rate of 5.9%, as against the outstanding which account has. But now the correct rate of interest will be calculated 9.5%. The difference amount of interest will be overdue for more than 90 days. And for this sake, you will have to classify this account in the category of NPA. Someone said that, sir, the interest is being serviced and account is not fully utilized. Sir, RBI circular says, the master circular says, for the CC account, two cases are there for the classification in the category of NPA. The one is inadequate credits in the account for particular quarter, meaning thereby, if the debit is around 5 lakhs, but credit is only 2 lakhs. So that 2 lakh is not sufficient to cover the debit which is being done in the system, in the account. So that overdue of this 3 lakh will result in the account that my account is not servicing properly. There is inadequate credit in the account, and that is why my classification will get changed after 90 days, and my classification will be after the standard to substandard. Similarly, if you talk about the first case where only interest servicing was there. So if I update the rate of interest, then additional amount of interest will be charged from the very first day. And that additional interest will be overdue for more than 90 days. And for that particular reason, my account will be classified as NPA. So you will have to see what are the cases through which you can identify that actual DP is short or actual renewal is pending or actual recovery is there or not, or actual rate of interest has been updated in the system or not. So considering these cases, the audit has been categorized in the 3 parts. The one is pre-audit, that we call as audit planning. Second phase is that the execution. When we perform the audit after visiting the branch, and last one is post-audit, that is called the documentation or the closure. So we have to understand these 3 phases. The first one is pre-audit. Planning तो बहुत जरूरी होती है, बिना planning तो के तो कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता है. So when you talk about the planning, so planning have 2 different segments. One is planning with respect to your teaming and audit checklist. Another is the part of reports which you actually need in order to prepare your that checklist or audit plan. So the first of all, when you get the appointment letter, first start your जान पहचान with your branch. How the जान पहचान will be done? कैसे आपको जान पहचान करना है? किसी से भी अगर मेरा अकाउंट कहीं से भी अगर मुझे अपॉइंटमेंट आता है या किसी भी मुझे नए फ्रेंड सर्कल में किसी नए नेटवर्किंग में जाना होता है तो सबसे पहले हम जान पहचान करते हैं. सर जान पहचान क्यों जरूरी होता है? क्योंकि जब आपकी जान पहचान होगी उसके बाद ही आपको पता चलेगा कि जिससे आप जान पहचान कर रहे हो वो बंदा ठीक है या नहीं है, उसके क्या प्लस है, उसके क्या माइनस है. दैट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. सो लाइकवाइज जब आप किसी एडवांस में आप जान पहचान करते हो, किसी ब्रांच के लिए जान पहचान करते हो, तो आपको वो हेल्प करता है उस ऑडिट की प्लानिंग में. कैसे सर ऑडिट की प्लानिंग में हेल्प करेगा? First of all, you have to understand what the nature of branch is. To understand that nature, you have to first ask for the branch profile. Because when you will get the branch profile, then you will understand what kind of advances are there, whether the fund-based advances are higher or non-fund based advances are higher, whether advances are higher or CASA is higher. What is the level of NPA in the branch? How much provisioning is being done? What are the net advances are there? Is there any vigilance team has visited the branch or not? What my previous auditor has done in the previous year audit, whether they have issued MOC or not? Since how long my branch, this branch manager is there in the branch for 3 years, 2 years, 5 years or 10 years. बिकॉज जितना पुराना बंदा रहेगा वो उतने ज्यादा आपको पार्ट्स या उतने ज्यादा इश्यूज आपको मिल सकते हैं, क्योंकि अक्सर एक पोजीशन पे अगर आप ज्यादा समय तक हैं तो थोड़ा सा तो कैजुअल अप्रोच आना शुरू हो जाता है. बट आई विल नॉट टॉक अबाउट द एक्सेप्शन, बट जनरली हमने ये देखा है कि अगर एक सीट पे कोई पर्सन ज्यादा टाइम तक रहता है तो थोड़ा बहुत तो एब्यूज ऑफ पावर कभी ना कभी हो ही जाती है. So for that sake, you have to make this Jan Pehchan with your branch and branch manager. And based on this understanding, why I said that you have to ask for the branch profile, because branch profile will help you to build up your team. Let's say in the last year, I have audited one agri branch, or last year I have audited one retail branch. And the current year, I have been allocated one very large or exceptionally large branch, or I could say the forex branch or treasury branch. So for that audit, I don't have expertise, because I had not been engaged in the audit of the large or mid corporate branches where the project financing is there, or you can say the non-fund based limits are there. But I have simply audited the term loans like vehicle loan, education loan, home loan, lab, or very small MSME cases. But I have never dealt with the project financing advances where we have to say the DCCO has actually been arrived or actually been achieved or not. So for that understanding, you have to understand the branch. So once you get the understanding that what level of advances are there and what is nature of branch, how much advances are there, how much CASA is there, based on this experience, you will gather the knowledge and you will build up your team. आपके पास अगर 4 लोग काम करने वाले हैं और आपको 2 ब्रांच मिली है और आपको सिर्फ 2 लोगों को ही भेजना है, so you will have to see कि एक सीनियर बंदे को मैं भेज दूं, एक जूनियर बंदे को भेज दूं, और जिन्हें भेजना है उनकी पहले मैं टीम मीटिंग कर लूं. मैं अपने ऑफिस में बैठ के उनको गाइडेंस नोट, जो सर्कुलर्स हैं, मास्टर सर्कुलर्स हैं, जो प्रोफेशनल्स हैं, उनकी जो पीपीटीज आई हैं, जो शॉर्टकट कीज हैं सीबीएस की, वो मैं अपनी टीम को बता दूं. जो इंस्टीट्यूट की गाइडेंस नोट है, जो इंस्टीट्यूट ने अभी AASB के पास भी वो शेयर, जो एक्सेल शीट, एक्सेल यूटिलिटी शेयर की गई है मेंबर्स के साथ, हम अपनी हैंड होल्डिंग बना ले उस एक्सेल शीट में, so that the moment your staff reaches the branch, they can start working on the filing instead of planning at the branch. क्योंकि सब ब्रांच में जाके प्लानिंग नहीं हो पाती, और अगर ब्रांच में आप जाके प्लानिंग कर रहे हैं तो आप ऑडिट नहीं कर सकते, क्योंकि आपके 2 दिन तो प्लानिंग में चले जाएंगे. ब्रांच मैनेजर साहब आपको खिलाने पिलाने में थोड़ा ले जाएंगे, घुमाएंगे फिराएंगे, आपका टाइम वैसे ही खराब हो जाएगा. कभी आपको सिस्टम नहीं मिलेगा, कभी सर्वर नहीं चलेगा, 2 दिन बाद बोलेंगे कि अभी क्लोजिंग के रिपोर्ट्स नहीं आए हैं. So you cannot keep waiting for the data. In the current era, in this 21st century, जब हम digitization की बात करते हैं, so we will have to have very good hand holding on the Excel. आपका सिस्टम में बहुत अच्छा ग्रिप होना चाहिए. Why we need good grip in the system? Because this will automate your process. I will run through this module and all these scenarios with example of these loan balance files, that how you can use Excel or you can use system at the time of performing of your statutory bank branch audit. So once you have prepared your basic team, then you have to ask some of the important reports from the branch manager. What reports you need? Number 1, previous year bank branch audit report. The complete set you require from the branch, so that you can read the report and identify the adverse remarks being given by the previous auditor. You have to read the LFAR very carefully, and more particularly the reporting of large advances. Sir, large advances हमें क्यों पढ़ने हैं? Because things got changed. पहले हम बोलते थे कि सर एक ब्रांच मैनेजर है जो ये कह रहे हैं कि सर ये अकाउंट को एनपीए आप मत करो, हम बोलते थे भाई साहब हमें तो एनपीए करना है, हम अपनी स्किन सेव करके चलेंगे, हमें तो एनपीए करना ही है, ये तो सारे कंडीशंस में दिख रहे हैं। बट सम अब हम भावुक होके उसको एलएफआर में लिख देते थे, बट एमओसी रेज करना रह जाता था। बट हियर, और जब आपसे पूछा जाता था कि भाई साहब आपने उस अकाउंट को चेक किया या नहीं किया, तो हमारा जवाब होता था सर वो तो हमने सैंपलिंग में देखा ही नहीं था। बट सर गॉन आर द डेज, now you will have to report each and every large advance which is having exposure of 10 crore or more, or the 10% of overall branch exposure whichever is less. तो जो टोटल ब्रांच का एक्सपोजर है फंड बेस और नॉन फंड बेस, उसका 10% एंड 10 करोड़ विच एवर इज लेस, उस कैटेगरी में जितने भी एडवांसेस आ रहे होंगे, दैट यू हैव टू रिपोर्ट इन द एलएफआर एंड यू विल हैव टू कंपल्सरीली रिव्यू द फाइल। यू कैन नॉट गिव एनी काइंड ऑफ एक्सक्यूज कि सर हमने सैंपलिंग में नहीं देखा या हमें फाइल नहीं मिली। सर कुछ भी नहीं होने वाला, यू विल हैव टू सी। अब सर आपने बोला कि 100% देखने हैं, कुछ तो सर ऐसे भी होंगे जिन्हें सैंपलिंग में हमें छोटे एडवांसेस भी देखने हैं। तो सर सैंपलिंग में कैसे आप एडवांस देखोगे, कौन से आपने एडवांसेस देखने हैं? So the next step is ask for the internal inspection report. So the first I said previous year SPA report. Next one is internal inspection report. Why internal inspection report is required? If latest internal inspection report you can get, well and good, बहुत अच्छा है। अगर आपको नहीं मिलता किसी भी वजह से, you can ask whatever inspection report they have, पिछले साल की होगी, पिछले साल की आप मांग लो। Why this is important? Because जो इंटरनल इंस्पेक्शन बैंक का स्टाफ करने आता है वो पूरी पीएचडी कर लेता है सारी फाइल्स में, एक एक फाइल में पूरी थीसिस वो भाई साहब लिखते हैं उस इंटरनल इंस्पेक्शन की रिपोर्ट में, और वही रिपोर्टिंग पॉइंट्स आपको 100% हेल्प करेंगे एलएफआर को भरने में। क्यों सर? अगर वो पिछले साल का भी है तो ब्रांच ने तो एक कंप्लायंस लेटर मुझे दे दिया है कि सर आई हैव कंप्लाइड एवरीथिंग, whatever internal inspection person has identified the issues or irregularities, I have complied with everything, and this is my compliance certificate which I have submitted to the authority. They will give you the compliance certificate. अब हम और भावुक हो जाते हैं, हम बोलते हैं भाई साहब अब कंप्लायंस कर ही दिया तो हमें तो देखने की कोई जरूरत है नहीं। बट सर ऐसे नहीं चलता ना, कोई भी ब्रांच 100% कंप्लायंस कभी नहीं कर सकती। जैसे हम कहते हैं कि अगर कोई बहुत क्लीन है तो वहां भी डाउट होता है, बहुत साफ सुथरा है तो वहां भी डाउट होता है। सो इफ यू सी द कंप्लायंस सर्टिफिकेट, जस्ट आस्क फॉर द सम ऑफ द फाइल्स एंड से whether if in one of the account it was written that stock statement was not available since last 1 year, तो आप बोल दो भाई साहब आप दिखा दो कि इसमें स्टॉक स्टेटमेंट है या नहीं, आप देखोगे कि फाइल्स में स्टॉक स्टेटमेंट अवेलेबल नहीं है। बट कंप्लायंस में लिखी हुई है दैट यस स्टॉक स्टेटमेंट हैज बीन रिसीव्ड। देयर वाज अ यूनिट विजिट which was pending for last 1 year or last 6 months, जो कि हर क्वार्टर करना होता है। And when you have asked for the unit visit report, you have noticed that actually unit visit report is not there, then how the compliance is being done in the system? No compliances are there. Your auditor has written, the internal auditor has written that insurance cover is not adequate or the insurance has been expired. Now the point is that your branch manager has written that yes, now adequate insurance is there, insurance policy has been renewed, but that policy is not available in the file. So these are the points which you will identify, you will notice, you will write in your working paper. And based on that adverse remark, once you will review the file, you will be assured that yes, actually compliances are not being done, and that you have to report. in your LFAR. So for that purpose, to identify the correct sample, you have to identify the accounts where adverse remarks has been given either by SBA or by internal auditor. Likewise, another report that is called the concurrent audit report. अब सर आपको concurrent audit report क्यों चाहिए? Sir, because concurrent auditor used to sit in the branch on regular basis, and when you will ask for the concurrent audit report of last 3 or 4 months, then you will see that there are some of account which are being adversely commented in the October report or December report or Jan report, but no such comments are there in the March report. तो सर मार्च के महीने में चीजें साफ सुथरी कैसे हो गई? दैट यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई, दैट यू हैव टू सी कि वो जेन्युइन साफ सुथरा हुआ है या साफ सुथरा किया गया है. एंड इफ यू आइडेंटिफाई कि सर वो साफ सुथरा किया गया है, इफ दे वर नॉट हैविंग द क्रेडिट्स बट एज ऑन द एंड ऑफ मार्च they have credit, but that credits are not from the genuine sources. In that case, that account is deemed NPA. अगर उसके 90 डेज पूरे हो रहे हैं, अगर उसकी 2 इंस्टॉलमेंट पहले बाकी थी, मार्च की मिला के 3 हो गई, और मार्च की जो इंस्टॉलमेंट भाई साहब ने पे किया है, दैट इज नॉट फ्रॉम जेन्युइन सोर्सेज, एंड यू हैव प्रूफ सफिशिएंट डॉक्यूमेंट दैट दिस सोर्स इज नॉट जेन्युइन. लेट्स से कैश डिपॉजिट हो गया या अकाउंट ट्रांसफर हुआ है लेकिन उसका वाउचर अवेलेबल नहीं है, so you can classify the account as NPA. In the cases where stock audit is applicable, so you can ask for the stock audit report. Where credit audit is applicable, you can ask for the credit audit report. For the understanding of revenue leakage, you can ask for the revenue audit report if available, and further you can also ask for the IS audit report if in the branch IS audit was done, because from that audit you can understand what are the lapses in the controls or what controls are weak, how the system is weak. You can understand through IS audit reported points. So this is something, reports which you need to ask from the previous auditor or the other auditor. Now coming on the reports, that is CBS generated reports which you need to ask from the branch manager. One very important report that is called a loan balance file. Can anybody tell me what exactly the loan balance file is? कोई मुझे बताएगा ये लोन बैलेंस फाइल क्या होती है सर? एनीबडी? लोन बैलेंस फाइल कोई मुझे बताएगा? I'm just looking on the chat box. Please आप मुझे रिवर्ट करें. Anybody? Sir, if you will revert in the chat box, if you will keep interacting with me, then I can give you more points, more issues which will be helpful during your bank branch audit. But if you will not respond, then I have some content and I will deliver that and just end up the session. Anybody? So the loan balance file is called actually the Janam Patri of branch. Kaise sir? Because in that loan balance file, you will find all the advances, whether they are in the standard category or SMA category or NPA. Every advance should be there. So match the total balance of all advances with the GLB. If both are matching, then your file is correct. You can start working on that. And in the loan balance file, you will find the all accounts name, account number, cust IDs, then category of advances, whether it belongs to CC or it belongs to OD or it's a LAP or it's a vehicle loan, or it's a home loan, whether it is of priority sector or non-priority sector, secured or unsecured, when it was sanctioned, what is the date of sanction, what is date of latest renewal, how much security is there, insured or not, whether any irregularity in the account, whether it was classified in the SMA or not, everything is there in this loan balance file. So you have to ask for the loan balance file for last 3-4 months in the odd dates. क्यों सर? सर मंथ एंड की आप लोगे या क्वार्टर एंड की लोगे तो वो तो साफ सुथरी चीजें आपको मिलेंगी। तो अगर कुछ मसाला आपको चाहिए तो कुछ मसालेदार चीजें आपको करनी होंगी। कुछ ऐसा दिमाग लगाओ ऑडिटर वाला जो कि अगला ब्रांच मैनेजर समझ नहीं सकता है। तो सिस्टम ऑफ ऑडिट शुड बी इन दैट वे कि आप एक कदम आगे सोच के चलो, एक कदम आपका आगे वर्किंग हो। सो इसलिए मुझे 3-4 ऑड डेट्स में इस लोन बैलेंस फाइल को लेना है। देन वी हैव टू परफॉर्म द मूवमेंट एनालिसिस दैट what are the account which was irregular or 100% utilized or overutilized in the month of November or October or January or February, but now as on 31st of December or 31st of March the account is very much regular, no overdues are there. If this is the case, then you have to take that account in the sample. Now the second category would be you have to take the report of fresh sanction or reviewed or renewal during the year. So in your tenure, what accounts have been renewed or reviewed or got fresh sanction? So you have to see whether the process has been followed or not. Then you have to see the NPA movement report. After that, SMA, if any account was in the SMA 0 or SMA 1 or SMA 2, but now it is fully regular, then you have to see whether the process of regularization of account is genuine or not. If the process is not genuine, then there are chances that the account may be classified in the category of non-performing asset. The interest part which I have discussed with you, for that purpose, you have to ask for the interest run report. And that interest run report will tell you for how many accounts the rate of interest got changed and from which date to which date the rate of interest has been changed. And where the changes are there, you can ask for the filing. And if you say in last 2 years, the rate of interest has been, base rate has been changed by the RBI around 1 to 2%. So we'll have to see whether that change has actually been updated in the system or not. If not updated, then the chances are there, if you will get the change updated in the system, then that may result in the overdue. And if that overdue continue for 90 days, then that account will definitely be classified in the category of non-performing asset. So these are the report which you need to see and you need to ask from the branch manager sitting at your office. This is something which will help you in the working. And this is something which you have to ask while sitting in your office at the time of planning only. Now, सर मुझे एक बात बताओ कि ये आपने जो कहानी बता दी ये मुझे चाहिए कैसे, इसका यूज क्या करेंगे? सो एनपीए मूवमेंट आपको हमने बताया कि सर आपको एनपीए मूवमेंट लेना है या फ्रेश सैंक्शन लेना है। अब आपको क्यों लेना है, व्हाई? Let us take one by one. Loan balance file I have told you just to identify the correct sample. Second, fresh advances because you have to cover the review of advances during the year. Third one, latest review and renewal, why it is important. Sir, as I told you in the very start that in so many cases you will find that a review and renewal is being done in the system only, but not in the actual file. So if that is the case, then you have to report that actual renewal has not been done and you have to categorize the account in the category of non-performing asset. Your branch manager will tell you कि सर कोई बात नहीं, 1 साल से रिन्यू नहीं हुआ, कोई बात नहीं, हम रिव्यू कर देते हैं. तो भाई साहब ने 4 रिव्यू करके आपको दे दिए, 3-3 महीने के उन्होंने 4 रिव्यू कर दिया, अकाउंट रेगुलर हो गया। सो इज इट फाइन और एनी इश्यूज देयर? आप मुझे बताइए। इफ माय ब्रांच मैनेजर has simply given you 4 review report, is it fine or you have some kind of issue in this case? Can anybody tell me? सर मैक्सिमम 2 रिव्यू ही हो सकते हैं, 2 रिव्यू से ज्यादा नहीं हो सकते। सो इन दैट केस इफ यू accept that review, still the actual renewal is not done. The review is only done to allow the limits or allow the operation in the account that will not substitute the purpose of regular renewal. And regular renewal is mandatory, sir. If regular renewal is not being done for more than 180 days, then account will have to be classified in the category of non-performing asset. किसी ने एक सवाल भी किया है, व्हाट इज योर व्यू ऑन द ब्रोकन पीरियड ऑफ रिन्यूअल चार्जेस? सर अगर आगे रिव्यू हो गया, सॉरी रिन्यूअल हो गया है, सर ब्रोकन पीरियड का जो चार्जेस है वो आपको लेना ही लेना है, अकाउंट डेबिट करवाना ही करवाना है। एंड इफ दैट चार्जेस विल रिजल्ट इनटू नॉन रिकवरी, for that sake you can classify the account in the category of NPA because actual recovery is not there, but charges must be debited, review must be done. Next is NPA movement report. Sir, why we need NPA movement report? Sir, NPA movement report you have to see for 2 reasons. One is you have to see whether the NPA has been classified as on the correct date or not. Second, the upgradation of NPA into the standard category has been done correctly or not. Sir, ऐसा क्यों? Because RBI circular is there, which says that NPA classification will be done automatically on daily basis. But when you see the NPA movement report, you have noticed that the date of NPA of all most of the accounts are either on 31st of December or 31st of March. But when you have visited the file and seen the paper and notice that the actual date of NPA should be 10th of February or 1st of January of last year. So the NPA classification has been done, but the correct classification has not been done. If the date of NPA should be of last year, just because of no renewal, no stock statement in the account, an inherent weakness in the account, and branch manager knows that we will not be able to recover the account, or the security in the accounts have been eroded for more than 90%. And for that reason, the branch manager has classified the account in the category of substandard. But in this case, we will discuss 2 separate issues. One, the date of NPA should be the last year, January. And if you count from January to January, see, so the 12 month has already been completed. So now after 12 months, the account should be classified in the subcategory of non-performing asset that is called doubtful asset. The second leg, where the security has been eroded for more than 90%. So the RBI circular says that if security erosion in the account for more than 90%, so in that case, account should not be classified in the category of substandard, but the account should directly be classified in the category of loss asset. Likewise, if the erosion in the security for more than 50%, then the classification should not be done in the category of substandard, but it should be in the category of doubtful asset. So for this reason, you have to see whether the correct classification in the non-performing asset has been done or not. Likewise, next step you have to see in the case of upgradation. अब सर upgradation में क्या देखना है हमें? Sir, in so many cases, you will see that if I have three accounts, one is CC, two other are term loan. And in one of the term loan, the three installment has not been received, due to which system has automatically classified the account as NPA. So sir, if one account has been classified as NPA, so for the same borrower, all the accounts must be classified as NPA, non-performing. That you have to see. Because the asset classification is being done on the borrower basis, not on the facility basis. So if I have 3 or 4 or 5 accounts, so in case of single account will be NPA, all the account will have to be the NPA. But how it is impacting the upgradation? So in case, I will take the same example. The borrower come to the branch and says that, सर एनपीए हो गया, कोई बात नहीं है, वो जो 3 इंस्टॉलमेंट थी उसमें से एक इंस्टॉलमेंट मैं आपको पे कर दे रहा हूं. तो आप ऐसा करो, एक इंस्टॉलमेंट मैं पे कर दे रहा हूं तो आप उस अकाउंट को परफॉर्मिंग कर दो. लेकिन भाई साहब ने मार्च मंथ में जो सीसी अकाउंट था और जो दूसरा भी टर्म लोन था, उसके भी लास्ट जो मार्च महीने का डेबिट था और जो लास्ट इंस्टॉलमेंट थी वो भी पेमेंट नहीं किया. सो द लास्ट इंस्टॉलमेंट ऑफ अनदर टर्म लोन and the CC account and the interest in the CC account has not been served. Now, borrower is coming to the branch and saying that I can give one installment for the account where 3 installments are pending. So if I will give you one installment, then only 2 installment will be pending in this account and one single installment and 1 month interest will be pending on the another 2 facilities. So you can upgrade my account and your branch manager had upgraded the account based on that. So is it okay to you or not? बताओ सर ये ठीक है या नहीं है? Is it okay or not? Sir, not at all. The RBI circular says that for upgradation, the entire recovery in the account must be done. तो अगर आपके 3 अकाउंट हैं, so in all these 3 accounts, 100% recovery should be there in order to upgrade the account. Even single rupee will be pending. आप बोल दो भैया 100% नहीं है, हालांकि सिंगल रुपी तो वो छोड़ेगा ही नहीं. अगर एक छोटा सा भी माइनर पार्ट रहता है तो आप टेक्निकली उस अकाउंट को अपग्रेड नहीं कर सकते. To upgrade the account, you will have to see whether 100% realization has been done in the system or not. So this is the reason why we need the NPA movement report. उसमें आपने देखना है, एक VLOOKUP लगा के मूवमेंट एनालिसिस परफॉर्म करना है कि कौन से अकाउंट पहले एनपीए नहीं थे अब एनपीए हो गए हैं, या फिर कौन से अकाउंट पहले एनपीए थे अब रेगुलर हो गए हैं. So these account you must have to see in this sample. Now coming on the classification of advances, what kind of classifications are there? So what I have discussed you till now will give you the basis for preparation of your checklist and planning. This will give you the cases where adverse remarks are there, where adversity you feel or inconsistency you feel, or your gut feeling says that yes, यहाँ पे कुछ पंगा हो सकता है. जैसे किसी की डीपी रेगुलर ठीक से चल रही है, एवरग्रीन अकाउंट है, तो सर जो हमेशा ही साफ सुथरा रहता है उसमें तो मुसीबत हो ही सकती है. Or if there is some account which is running exactly with the same sanction limit, I have given the sanction limit of 2 crore, and account is running somewhere the line of 199 or 198, 195, 197. Sometimes it has exceeded to 201 to 202. And if this continue all over the year, then you have to calculate the drawing power and see whether the DP is actually available as against this utilization or not, if DP is not available and you are calculating the DP for the month of December or you can say September 2023 and shortage in the DP are there, in that case, the account should be classified in the category of NPA. For the proper checklist and detailed audit plan, the Center for Quality Control Directorate has issued the latest version of Excel utility where you will get the complete detail of LFR, detailed review file and checklist for advances. So once you select the sample based on the information or detail which I have shared with you, you will have to review the file on that samples and that checklist which is provided in the Excel utility. After checking, you have to compile the points which is being identified by you, your subordinate, your audit assistant, and after compilation of point account wise, you have to discuss with your branch manager, convey and convince them according to the circular and guidance note of institute. Once he is convinced and satisfied that yes, your point is genuine, you can raise NOC, prepare the papers, prepare the LFR report with all your observation, get it signed and submit it to the authority. So this planning will going to help you in the effective conducting this audit in a very short span of time. Now we have to further move on the part of advances. So we have two kind of advances which we can actually classify based on the three categories. What categories are there? The first one is advances classification based on the sectors. So why we need sectorial classification? Because you understand that for the PSU sectors, the priority sector lending targets have to achieve. So in any case, if priority sector lending So I was talking about the sectorial advances. तो आपको सर पता होगा कि पीएसयूज में बैंक्स में जो प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर की लेंडिंग है उसके टारगेट्स होते हैं, सरकार ने टारगेट दिए हैं कि आपको प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर लेंडिंग करनी है। अब सर उस प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर लेंडिंग करने के लिए हमारे पास प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर के कस्टमर भी तो होने चाहिए। सो आई विल ब्रीफ यू with the help of one example. Let's say I, being a branch manager, I have given one CC limit to one of my friend who does not belong to the MSME sector, that is priority sector. But incorrectly or intentionally, I have categorized that account in the category of priority sector as the MSME in the system, in the CBS, and also requested for the CGTMSE coverage of, let's say, 75% or 85% to the extent it is available. So if I have categorized non-priority sector advances in the category of priority sector, so will it really result into any kind of non-performance or any kind of MOC? Will it be of my concern or not? हमें कोई समस्या इससे हो सकती है या नहीं? Anybody? क्या इस केस में अगर नॉन प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर को प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर में बांट दिया गया तो क्या इस वजह से मैं एमओसी बना सकता हूं? Will it help me to raise the MOC? Or if yes, then what are the reasons for MOC? And how many reasons are there for which we can raise the MOC? Anybody? Sir, in this case, many reasons are there for the MOC. Number one, the classification. So if the classification will change from priorities to non-priority, then you have to give the MOC. So the one reason is change in the classification of sector. Second point, we have classified the account as a secured, but actually account is unsecured. Second reason. The third one is for the priority sector and more particularly for MSME, government schemes are there. And the rate of interest which is being given to the MSME is lower than the normal rate of interest, 1 to 1.5%. Concession is being provided to the MSME sector. So if the correct rate of interest to the normal non-priority sector is 10.5%, but being a branch manager given 9% rate of interest to my MSME customer or my friend. So this shortage of 1.5% will give you the revenue leakage. And if from the very start, you will update in the system this additional part of interest and that is non-realized or non-recovered, in that case, again, the account can be classified in the category of NPA. Next part is that provisioning. When you talk about the provisioning, what is the standard provisioning for standard assets? So in normal cases or the other cases, the standard provisioning is 0.40%. But in case of MSME, the provisioning is only 0.25%. So there is again shortage in the provisioning by 0.15%, which will again add the amount of provision and this will again result into the given in the point for MOC. The fourth point would be for the provisioning itself, because now your asset is not secured, so the rate of provision will be higher. So for these four reasons, you will have to raise the MOC in case the advances has been incorrectly classified in the category of priority sector instead of categorizing in the non-priority sector. So you will have to see very diligently all these cases of advances. Another important point is there. Sir, what happens if there is devolvement or invocation of BG? Sir, when invocation of BG is there, in some of the cases, what branches do, branch park that devolvement or invocation amount to the separate account instead of debiting to the customer. और अगर वो कस्टमर का अकाउंट डेबिट नहीं हुआ और 100% यूटिलाइज पहले ही वो अकाउंट चल रहा था और अब ये अकाउंट और अगर डेबिट होता तो ओवर यूटिलाइज हो जाता और इफ दैट ओवर यूटिलाइजेशन कंटिन्यू फॉर 90 डेज तो अकाउंट एनपीए हो जाता. But your branch manager has very clearly transferred or parked that amount in the separate account. So when you will go for the branch audit, you have to identify the suspense account and these kind of separate accounts. And the amount of this invocation or devolvement will have to add to the fund-based limit utilization. And the total outstanding position will arrive after adding this additional invocation of amount. And if DP is short to cover this 100% utilization, then your account can be classified in the category of NPA. So you have to see very diligently. In some of the cases, you may find that security is not adequate. insurance coverage are not there. I have given the property of 5 crore as against the loan of 1 crore. So do I need to take the insurance coverage of 5 crore or only 1 crore? सर प्रॉपर्टी को आपको कवर करना है, उस लोन को तो कवर करना ही है. Likewise, in the insurance coverage, bank clause must be there. So when you see the the insurance cover letter, you have to see whether bank clause is there or not. Another very important aspect is of drawing power, because in the term loan, the identification of NPA is little bit easy. How? I will give you one formula to identify the NPA in case of term loan. First, you have to start with the date of repayment. Write the date of repayment start date and count the period from that date to till date. That is 31st March 2024. How many months are there? You have to multiply with that total month with the amount of EMI. So let's say the account repayment started in the month of January 2023. So till date 15 EMI should be there. So 15 into, let's say EMI amount is only 10,000. So 15 into 10,000. So the amount will come is how much? बताओ sir. 1,50,000. And in the account, you will see that the credit is only 1,30,000. Or you can say 1,10,000 only credits are there. So you will reduce this credit. So the difference amount would be 40,000. And the 40,000 will be divided by the amount of EMI. So the number will comes in 4. And since it is more than 3, it means there is shortage of one EMI which is pending for more than, sorry, there is a 4 EMI which is pending, and since it is more than 3 EMI and standing is more than 90 days, then account should be classified as NPA. But in case of CC limit, this process will not work. In most of the CC account, the account will be classified based on the shortage of DP, inadequacy of credits, or the temporary deficiency in the name of non-availability of stock statement or delay in the review or renewal. So the CC account are very much relevant, very much important for any auditor. तो सर आपको सीसी अकाउंट में फोकस करने के लिए सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है डीपी ड्राइंग पावर कैलकुलेशन. So I will brief you how the DP is being calculated. So I have 20 minutes. So for next 10 minutes, I will cover the calculation of drawing power. So why the drawing power is being calculated? Because based on that drawing power, you will have to see how much eligible withdrawal I can make in the account. How much fund I can withdraw from the sanctioned limit. So the DP will be calculated for two aspects. One is stock, another is book date. For the stock, you have to calculate the paid stock, and from that paid stock, you will have to reduce the margin. Then you will arrive at the correct DP for stock. To arrive at the paid stock, you will have to reduce some of the items like if there is non-moving or slow-moving stock, if there is some stock which belongs to someone else that you don't have ownership of that stock, like stock received against the job worker, stock received for the storage purpose, because I am also holding the warehouse and I have received some of stock from the third party in my warehouse. So I cannot take any kind of credit or DP against the stock which does not belong to me. I can only take the DP for the paid stock which belongs to me only. So if there is any stock which belongs to the job work or third party which we have received in the warehouse. So we'll have to reduce that. Then creditor. So for the creditor, we have to reduce the regular creditor as well as the stock received against LC. So out of total stocks, so stock against the LC will also be reduced. Then you will arrive at the paid stock, and from that paid stock, you have to reduce the margin. Then the number will be the eligible DP, drawing power against the stock. Now coming on the debtors. So for the debtors, first you have to reduce the ineligible debtors. Let's say I have total debtor of, let's say 150 crore. Out of 150 crore, the 80 crore debtors are more than 90 days, and the eligible debtors allowed to me is only 90 days. So I have to reduce this 80 crore. So the eligible debtor for DP purpose would be only 70 crore. Out of that 70 crore, if there is any kind of advances from customer, you will have to receive that advance from customer. If there is any kind of provision or dispute in the debtor, you will have to reduce that as well. If there is any related party debtor, so in normal case, you will have to reduce the related party debtors as well to arrive at the correct debtor for DP purposes. Once you arrive at the correct data, you will have to reduce the margin, and then DP will arrive against the debtor. Part 1 and part 2, when you will add both the part, so that will be the total DP, and total DP you will compare with the outstanding amount and sanction limit, whichever is lower. So let's say I will take a case, I have DP of 50 lakh. And I have outstanding of 70 lakh, and I have sanctioned limit of 90 lakh. So I have sanction limit of 90 lakh, but the DP means allowed withdrawal is only 50 lakh. So withdrawal can be done only 50 lakh. But my borrower has actually withdrawn 70 lakhs. So meaning thereby this 20 lakh additional withdrawal will be the case of out of order. And if you are calculating these numbers for the month of December, the 90 days over and your account should be classified in the category of NPA. Got it, sir? Now, the classification I was discussing, I will take 1 or 2 more minutes for this part. So I have told you based on the priority sector. Now coming on the based on security. So based on the security, the classification would be either secured or unsecured. The security must be in the form of tangible asset. If there is any kind of intangible security, and basis that intangible security account classified as secured, then that secured classification is not correct. You will have to check. The last category is based on the performance. So based on the performance, we have two part, performance and non-performance. For the performance, we have again two categories. One is regular, another is stressed. For stressed, we have SMA 0, matlab 0 to 30 days. Then SMA 1, 31 to 60, SMA 2, 61 to 90 days. So if any account is over and above this 90 days, then it will be shifted to the another category, that is non-performance. And in the non-performance, we have substandard, doubtful, loss asset. In the substandard category, account will continue for 12 months. After 12 months, it will be shifted to the doubtful category, then doubtful 1, doubtful 2, doubtful 3. And after this doubtful category, you have the loss asset. And in the loss asset or unsecured loan, which is in the doubtful 3 category, 100% provisioning should be there. If there is some difference in the provisioning, you will have to get the same provided for. So you'll have to keep this thing in the mind. Also, Institute has issued some of the booklet where they have given the cases of early warning signals, EWS, and some fraud cases which you have to go through. The Excel utility you must have to go through in a very detailed manner, and also you have to give hand holding of this Excel to your team members or staff who is going to perform the audit. So I have a lot of things to share, but since there is limitation of time, so I will end up here and I will take few of the questions which I have received over here.
Yes, sir. I have the questions. The first question is, sir, can we get the basic list of documents which we can ask branch before commencement of audit?
Definitely. The Excel utility which I'm sharing with you out there, you can get all the required document list. Apart from that, I will share with the committee AASB the required list along with MRL and all the documents. So they can send it over mail to all the participants.
Okay, thank you. Next question is, should we insist legal audit report as prescribed by the RBI recently?
Sorry,
If
come
not
again.
available, is it okay?
Come again.
Should we insist legal audit report as prescribed by the RBI recently?
See, but in case of, see, if you talk about the legal audit, so legal audit will be done in case of any tangible asset or property, immovable property, which is mortgaged to the branch, to any kind of advances. So in that case, two things will be done. One is legal waiting will be done. Second, legal audit will be done. And you will have to rely on that report. You don't need to go beyond that. Similarly, one more part I will cover here. In case of valuation, if you find that the loan was sanctioned to some of the party in the last 1 month, and in the valuation report you have observed that the property was purchased in last 2 months only, and the property was purchased for 1 crore. But the valuation report which you have received is showing the value of 5 crore. So you have to see whether in 2 months this inflation is justifiable or not. But you will have to restrict yourself to rely on the report of third-party agency, because you are not architect, you're not a valuer, you are the auditor. So you can raise this point in LFAR. It may be the chances of overvaluation of fraud case. So you will not go for the valuation or legal audit, but you will have to rely on the report available in the system. But very importantly, you will have to report this issue in the LFAR. And if you ask for the further documentation or justification from the borrower, and if you don't receive that justification, then it's your call, it's your opinion. If this seems that this is a fraud case and you have sufficient document and evidences, then you can classify the account as a fraud and categorize in the NPA category. Yes, madam. Next.
Next is, majority of cases DPs, drawing power, are arrived without considering the creditor's value. When the same is reckoned, the DP would be less.
Definitely. So creditor should be deducted to arrive at the paid value, paid stock. So if paid stock has been arrived without deducting the value of creditor, then you are giving the option of double financing. भाई साहब, एक तो वो माल उधार है, दूसरा आपने वर्किंग कैपिटल भी दे रखी है, तो डबल फाइनेंसिंग का सर केस हो जाएगा. सो आपने डिडक्ट करना ही करना है. अगर आपका ब्रांच मैनेजर उसको मना भी कर रहा है, सर आप बात ही मत मानो, कोई बात नहीं, आप लिख के दे दो, आपका काम खत्म हो जाएगा. So you'll have to deduct that creditor to arrive at the paid stock.
If we classified any account as non-performing,
Meenal ma'am, there is some network issue from your side. Meenal madam, there is network issue in your side. You are not audible. Meenal madam, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'll take few questions from the WhatsApp which I have received just to continue.
Yes, sir.
So one person has asked whether this non-priority advance, if shown as priority, will it lead to MOC? Definitely, it will lead to MOC, and I have given you the cases how the MOC will be issued. Someone said some bank branch managers are hesitant and reluctant to give management representation. Sir, you will have to save yourself. मैं आपको सर बहुत समय से मैं इतने ब्रांचेस में जाता हूं, मैंने सबको बोला सर भावुक नहीं होना है, सर इमोशनल नहीं होना है आपको. You will have to perform your duty which is expected. You will have to follow the IRAC norms. You will have to follow the master circular. You will have to follow the guidance note. Don't be emotional. Don't just understand the situation of branch manager. Understand your situation as well. Because if you'll drop the case and save the case, and in the coming days, if account classified as fraud account or any diversion has been reported, तो सर आपको बचाने कोई नहीं आएगा. So you will have to save your skin first. You will have to complete the documentation first, then think about anything else. So सर इमोशनल में नहीं होना है, हमें चीजों को प्रॉपर पेपर वर्क करके चलना है. Can we issue MOC for non-recovery of commitment charges? Sir, bilkul, because if commitment charges are not been recovered, it means it has impacted the profit and loss account, and for this reason, your profit will be higher because charges will be debited to the customer, income will be increased. Then, if MRL is not given by branch, they say this will give it to SES. Sir, you will have to just mail your requirement or your MRL points to the branch, and you can talk to the senior authority as well that I need MRL where the reporting is being done by the branches for your clarification. If not received, then you can talk to your senior authority, and even in these cases, your CSA is also helpful, so you can talk to them as well. So I think I have covered the points. If left one or two points, then Meenal
madam, you are having any question? Meenal madam, you are having any question? Yes,
I
please,
can
please,
one or two
please.
more question. I can take one or two more
Due to the
questions.
mistake of branch manager in defining the customer as MSME, the customer will face the problem. Is it correct?
Customer will not face the problem. Customer will enjoy the benefit, but branch will face the problem. And if auditor will leave the case and escape himself, then all the auditor is at big trap, and he is going to face a lot of issues. And agency, you have seen ED and CBI what they are going. So they will enjoy the ED and CBI benefit. Your auditor will enjoy this if they will escape this case. So he must issue the MOC. And for this MSME case, I have given 3-4 reasons. For this reason, MOC must be given by this branch auditor.
Yes, madam. Next question. Meenal madam, next question.
Yeah. Can I take the photo?
I think there is again some kind of network issues.
Or
Madam, there is a network issue on your side. I'll take last question from sir. I hope you are having the same question. Let me ask to the sir the last question. Sir, can I take photocopy of the inspection report of the internal audit report, previous year audit report for our record from the bank?
See, what I told you, if you get the scanned copy sitting at your branch, then obviously you have the copy, you can take it as your working paper. But if somehow you could not get the copy, then just note down, because see the purpose. Why we need inspection report or previous audit report? Just to find out the correct sample numbers, correct accounts. So just note out the cases where adverse remarks are there. You don't need any kind of copy, because you will have to work by your own. you have to review the file of that advances which has been adversely reported either in the concurrent audit report or statutory audit report or the inspection report. So
Yes.
I think we should conclude here. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful deliberation. You have covered all the aspects relating to the planning of audit. We have our members have gained a lot through your deliberation. So thank you so much on behalf of AASB of ICI for sparing your valuable time and a wonderful deliberation. And thank you so much, Meenal Madam, for sparing your time and moderating this webinar. And I also thanks towards the Madam Sonia ji in her absentia for coordinating this webinar. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you, madam.
Namaste.
Thank you.